do that update from Kids, Jenna, because you have it's good news for us.
I do, yeah. I just think it's so important. You know, we share so much about Kids with y'all, and you were so helpful to us to go on these trips. And so back in 2013, I formed a bond with a very special child and her mom. You know, we all kind of gravitate sometimes towards kids, and I've spoken to you about Gracie because this is a child that I've kept in touch with. I've gone to San Antonio to visit many times. So
she's hilarious too.
She's hilarious. Her nickname's the China Latina because she's from China and was adopted, but she's obsessed with Mexican food. And I'm like, shout out. So, you know, we bonded immediately on that trip.
I know a girl that goes by China Latina
She's
too.
the China Latina. So just a little backstory here because it's important. Gracie was born in China, and Jamie Jennings was a single mom living in San Antonio. Jamie wanted to have a child, but you know, Jamie didn't have anyone in her life at the time, and she just made that decision. I felt a little piece of me in that. You know, she was like, you know what, I really want to have a child, and she had found out about these kids in China that they're part of this. They're special heart kids, and so a lot of these kids are, you know, abandoned and have, you know, only part of a heart. And so she decided to look into adoption, and she had worked with special needs kids before, but she did not have much time to prepare for what was about to come along with Gracie, and here's a piece of that.
So they told me I had 48 hours to decide. This was a heart kiddo, and they didn't know much about that heart defect. So 48 hours later, I did decide after talking to a pediatrician and a cardiologist. They said, as a single mom, you could definitely do it. And then 3 months later, my mom and I flew to China, and I picked up a 18-month girl who was as blue as Violet from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And it was very scary because she was so little, and she came home 6 weeks after we got home. She had her first open heart surgery. We learned that her heart defect was a lot more severe than what the paperwork said. It was a miracle that she was even alive. I almost lost her twice. When I almost lost her, she was gray. She, sorry, it makes me cry.
No.
She needed the ventilator. They didn't want to put her on the ventilator because they were afraid to damage her heart. And she was getting grayer, and you could see she was dying. And finally, they made the decision, let's put her on the ventilator. And she just kept begging me, please tell me a story. So I used to tell her crazy stories of the 3 little pigs, right? Yeah. And she covered 2 months later, and she went to preschool. She started preschool again, and she got better and better, and now here she is.
I'm so impressed that she has, what you said, half a heart. I feel like she has more heart than I do. I would give her some of mine. Can I give you some of my heart?
Crazy.
Silly. Is your mom your best friend?
Yes.
All right. I love you guys. You're so wonderful. Whoa. Kisses and hugs.
2 angels walking amongst us.
So,
Gracie and her mom.
Gracie and her mom. So, you know, this was in 2013. So Gracie is, you know, she struggled here and there, but she's been in school, and Jamie is a teacher in San Antonio, like I said. And so, you know, Gracie's had, you know, she tried to play sports. She can't, you know, she's not allowed to get her heart rate up past a certain level. And we kind of always knew a time would come that she was probably going to need a heart transplant because she has this very small heart with other things in it to try and help it function. And so, you know, I still check in with Jamie. And a couple weeks ago, I got a phone call from Jamie saying that Gracie had collapsed at school. And it was very urgent, and she was in heart failure again. And so, you know, she takes her to the hospital, and then they figure out that there's some issues. And I'm sorry for my lack of medical terminology here. It's been a little emotionally overwhelming, and there's obviously a lot going on, as I'm sure if you've had a child in the hospital, you know. But so, you know, they ended up taking her. She's in Dell Children's in Austin right now because they needed to replace a valve. Well, when they went to do that last week, Gracie was gone. And I was here, and I stepped out, and I got a call from Jamie, and Jamie was sobbing, and Jamie was like, I don't think she's going to make it. And it was just very sudden and very upsetting because we thought she had been doing better. And so, you know, every day I've been checking in with her, and she spent about a day on life support. And Jamie said, I don't think Gracie's going to make it. And so obviously, you know, it's been a very upsetting period of time. And then the following day, Jamie called me. He's like, you're never going to believe this. She's responsive, and she's coming through it. And, you know, because what they've been wanting to do is give her basically an Iron Man heart. Like they are trying to have her strong enough that they can put in what she needs, this certain valve. And But, she's obviously been, she's not in the clear yet, but she's been somewhat responsive. She had a 10-hour surgery yesterday, and one of Jamie's friends reached out to me, and I want to say this, it's very important. Jamie has never once asked me for anything, and, I've been supportive in her life. I've offered her money, and she is just that type of woman that, not too prideful, but just, we're okay.
Yeah, we got this.
We're doing it. She's always so positive, and a friend reached out and said, like, they are really struggling financially, and I hate, airing that, but I think it's just important that, we've supported them in the good times, and they've been on the trip, and they've been a fabulous part of my life. So there's a GoFundMe that they've started. Only a couple $100 have been raised. Jamie's a single mom on a teacher's salary, so they are deserving.
Yeah.
They are deserving people, and any little bit of help you could do, they would really appreciate it. We have a link right now on the KiddNation Instagram, on my Jenna Page Instagram bio, and on the KiddNation website. Some photos from Jamie and Gracie from the trip. We would really, really appreciate the support, because I think Gracie is really going to come through this. And she came out of her surgery yesterday, and she's responsive. So prayers.
Such a fighter.
It was a miracle. Prayers and the link to
Go help
donate.
out.
Yeah, please. It would be wonderful. Thank you so much for listening.
Any of us in that situation would be needing money, man. These surgeries are so
Oh my
expensive.
gosh. And
Pray
her
for
mom's not
Gracie,
able
yo.
to
Pray
work.
for Gracie.
And
Yeah.
prayers, please.
And we love Gracie and Jamie.
Yeah.